2026 meeting of the Bismarck Board of Park Commissioners. I will call the meeting to order and ask Julie to call the roll, please.
Commissioner Gilbertson.
Here.
Herzog.
Here.
Redmond. Here. Jeske.
Here.
President Zimmerman.
Here. Our next item on the agenda is a Pledge of Allegiance. I ask those who wish to please stand and join us in the pledge. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Thank you. Next is the approval of the agenda. Before I call for a motion on that, we will add one item. Under item 6, a disposition of bids, we would add one item for the fertilizer bid update on that. If we have a motion then for approval of the agenda with that additional item.
President Zimmerman, I move we approve the agenda with the aforementioned addition.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Gilbertson, second by Commissioner Redmond. Julie, if you'll call the roll, please.
Commissioner Gilbertson.
Aye.
Herzog.
Yes.
Redmond.
Aye.
Jeske.
Aye.
President Zimmerman.
Aye. Next item on the agenda is a special item for us this evening at the Bismarck Park District. We are honored to have Sergeant Elliot Carvel with the Burley County Sheriff's Department here this evening. He will appear before the board, and present the Bismarck Park District employees David Robinson and Seth Johnson with the Golden Citizen Award. Good evening, Sergeant Carvel, and welcome.
Thank you, Chairman and Board. If I could have Seth and Dave come up to the front. You guys can stand anywhere you like, but just want you up here to recognize you. So, again, thank you, Chairman and Board. My name is Elliot Carvel with the Burley County Sheriff's Department. I am the administrative sergeant for the county, and one of my roles is the appointed chairman of our employee council. And what happens with this is throughout the year we have events, calls, cases where deputies deserve recognition as well as citizens from the public. And I'm proud to say here today that we have 2 Bismarck Parks and Recs employees that were involved in the incident and deserve recognition. And this award is a Golden Citizen Award, and I'd like to read the definition of this. It is a member of the public that goes above and beyond what is expected of a citizen to assist law enforcement in a manner that is critical to the department shall be eligible for this award. With that being said, I will recite the incident that happened back in February. On February 17th, 2025, 2 employees from the Bismarck Parks and Rec went above and beyond their duties. These 2 men, Seth Johnson and David Robinson, were making their daily rounds at the McDowell Dam recreation area when they located a male in distress. The temperature on this date was around -20 degrees. Responding deputies would learn that this victim was in the act of attempting to take his life. Frostbite had already set in on the victim's extremities. Robinson and Johnson stayed with this victim, guided EMS to their location, and assisted with this patient. In addition, both men, due to heavy snow, utilized Bismarck Parks and Recreation equipment to plow a trail in the snow to this victim. Robinson and Johnson were instrumental in the saving a life on this date, February 17th, 2025, and are or should be recognized for the Golden Citizen Award. With that being said, I'd like to offer a round of applause for these 2 men. David. So I do have 2 plaques for them. Obviously appreciate your service, guys, and your commitment to the community, and I hope you understand that a large part of what makes our community great is when citizens step up and take action in times of need. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Sergeant Carvel. I believe we have a photographer here, so gentlemen and Sergeant, if you'll just hold tight. We'll have Dana take some pictures. I believe they want the commissioners to join in as well, but let's get one of our honorees first. I don't think you want to clutter it up with. Let's have the sergeant and the two of us, and we'll kind of get out of the picture here. Thank you, sir. Thank you for coming out tonight. I didn't say that, did I? Thank you again. Thank you. Thank you.
You too.
Hey, my pleasure. Yes, nice seeing you, Paul. Thank you, sir.
Yes.
Seth and David, don't leave yet. I thought I would ask the commissioners if they wanted to add a personal word. Don't want to put you on the spot, but if one of the commissioners would like to add anything. Commissioner Gilbertson?
Sure. I would like to say thank you for what you did for this individual and for the community. It really is truly a testament to the caliber of people that grace the Bismarck Parks and Rec with the honor of having them as employees. So it truly is awesome and amazing that you guys were where you were and did what you did. So thank you for stepping up.
David and Seth, thanks so much. I appreciate your kind and caring hearts. And also to have the foresight of thinking, boy, when somebody gets here, we need to help them help this person. And so to think of the next step. And so you went into action and you saved this person who was obviously in distress. And so you truly are the heroes. And so thanks for being you.
Dave and Seth, you may not have felt like a hero that day. Sorry, I get a little emotional, but I just think about that person's families and what you did for them by saving their loved one's life. So thank you so much for being wonderful representatives of the people that we have at the Bismarck Park District. You really are shining stars, and thank you for what you did.
I want to say thanks too, and I want to say, I mean, you're a golden citizens, but you're also completely solid North Dakotans. I mean, to get rolling, find some equipment, help people. I mean, that's just a solid Midwestern, get it done attitude. And I think, that you guys jumped in that quick and took action is just fantastic. So thank you guys so much. Appreciate it. Glad that your families could be here as well. I'm sure they're super proud of you. I saw someone got the video. I might need some of that, a video later on. But thank you so much.
I would just add that we first of all appreciate the Burley County Sheriff's Department for honoring our employees. We appreciate that. And to Seth and David, yes, I can only add that you make the whole district proud. And all the employees, I'm sure as you see the other members of the staff, they congratulate you as well, but I wish to do that publicly on behalf of the whole district. All of our employees and the board, we thank you for your, I will call it heroic work that day, and appreciate it very much. So now if you need to go out for dinner or special dinner, go right ahead.
Candy's waiting. Candy's taking him out.
Thank you. Our next item is our featured partners and programs. We have with us this evening everything that deals with the ice, it looks like. We have first from the Bismarck Figure Skating Club, Kristen Wilhelm, president, will have you step forward, please, and give us an update from the Figure Skating Club.
Hi, Kirsten Wilhelm here. So the Bismarck Figure Skating Club is grateful for the continued support and partnership with Bismarck Parks and Rec, and Bismarck Hockey Boosters as well. Together, we provide inclusive skating opportunities for all ages while contributing to community engagement, youth development, and regional visibility for the city of Bismarck. So we have 3 separate kind of programs within our Bismarck Figure Skating Club. So our advanced program has 87 active skaters, including 2 adult skaters that are utilizing our ice time weekly, with a total of 92 registered skaters in the advanced program. So 4 of those athletes also represent 2 colleges and universities, and 1 athlete competes on Team USA level while training in the Chicago area. During our current advanced season, we hosted 7 test sessions and 1 sanctioned competition. So in November, Capital City Championships, we had it last October, hosted 203 athletes, including 88 skaters from North Dakota, South Dakota, and Minnesota. This reflects approximately a 22% increase from 2024, highlighting the continued growth in regional participation. Our other program is our Learn to Skate, so those are our little ones, and Aspire programs where they're not quite in advanced yet. We have 275 Learn to Skate members, serving as an accessible entry point for families throughout the community. We expanded our Aspire program offerings this season to include increased registration capacity, parent-taught classes, and adult and teen classes. Some goals for our next season would be to do some preschool Learn to Skate classes during work/school hours and additional group and private lesson ice time, and also expanding our off-ice training. And then last but not least, we also have our synchronized skating program within the Bismarck Figure Skating Club. So out of all of our skaters, we have an additional 125 that participate in our synchro program, equaling 9 synchronized teams competing locally, regionally, and nationally. So they competed in Bismarck, Grand Forks, Minneapolis, Michigan, California, and Boston this season. And our national level team, the Capital Ice Chips, will represent Bismarck at the U.S. Synchronized Skating National Championships in Salt Lake City, March 5th through the 7th, after qualifying with a record-breaking sectional score in Michigan this past January. So, doing some great things, that's for sure.
Thank you. Certainly we'll have the commissioners, if they have some comments or questions. We'll start with Commissioner Gilbertson.
Just congratulations on the continued success.
Thank you.
Several friends who have kids that skate, and it's always impressive to see the level of dedication. In fact, one of them you probably saw posted online with, every time I see an Olympic skater, I wonder how many butter braids
Oh
they
my
had
gosh,
to
yes.
sell to,
Yes.
to get to that level, which, you know, it's all of us who have had children and in
Yes.
youth activities know very well what that is like. But it's great to see the continued growth of,
Yes, absolutely.
of the sport and of the activity.
Thank you.
Congratulations also on your success. I thought, I noted parent-taught classes. What a brilliant idea. So how many parent-taught classes and how many coaches do you have on staff?
Yes. So our advanced coaches are actually 1099, so they're not necessarily on staff, but most of our Learn to Skate, so we have 3 directors, 1 for advanced, 1 for Learn to Skate, and 1 for advanced. And then our coaches range from 10 to 15 different skaters on the higher level teams that come and help out with the younger ones. Yeah.
And then when is your ice show? Isn't it usually
Our
March?
ice show is coming up, yes, March 20th, 21st, 22nd. So we will have 4 shows at VFW 1. Yeah, 1 Friday night, 2 on Saturday, and 1 on Sunday.
Very good. Good
Yeah,
luck.
thank you.
Yeah, just congratulations. I'm friends with Kyle Deberton
Oh.
on Facebook, and he's hilarious. I love whenever he posts something, but yeah, it's pretty exciting to watch what you have accomplished with the skating here in the Bismarck area. So thank you for all that you do.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think President Zimmerman, Commissioners, and Kristen, thanks for being here. I was curious, I know we've talked about it a few times, but adaptive skating and your Learn to Skate, I mean, is that growing? Do you have enough equipment for that? What's that like for you?
Yeah, for sure. So still wanting to expand even more and tap into it, offering a little bit more of that snowplow Sam. We find that we max out on those. So we're also doing another learn to skate activity this Saturday, kind of after the Olympics, trying to utilize some of our ice time that we have available right now because we're done with our testing and moving on to ice show prep. So we're like, let's use a little bit of this.
Okay,
So
awesome.
yeah.
That's good to hear. Thank you.
Yeah.
Kristen, I have a few questions. You mentioned off ice, so that what you're saying that's when
So
ice
training.
is off on the rinks and you're able to get in, I take it?
Not necessarily. So even just utilizing some of the off ice rooms, I should say. So like at Capitol Ice, we have that specific room above Wachter that we installed mirrors on, where we can use it for training purposes. Because you need strength, flexibility to do some of the stuff that you're doing on the ice. You need to be able to do it off ice. So strengthening our skaters that way.
And which is your usual practice rink? Is there one or do you have to shift around to get ice time on?
Honestly, so in the spring and summer, we're usually at VFW 1. So once Bobcats are done, then we get VFW 1. We've found that works really well with hockey. Hockey does really well in VFW 2 and 3 because then they can use that other entrance. And then right now we rotate when we're at Capitol Ice between Schaumburg and Wachter, just so that BHS gets that home field advantage or home rink advantage, I should say, with the Wachter rink. Yeah.
My last question, you mentioned, you have some skaters, university skaters and such. How about like your local groups? Do you have skaters from outside of Bismarck or Mandan? Do you have
We do.
skaters?
So, yeah. So we're finding a lot of these programs are kind of dying in a way, if that makes sense. So like the Minot synchronized, they went from several teams to only having 2 teams. So a couple skaters will drive down, but that's a big commitment to, drive here just for a couple of practices each week. But they do it. And then we have some advanced skaters that come from Hazen area.
That was
Yep.
my question for
Yeah.
serving, like a Washburn or a New Salem or Hazen Beulah.
Yep. Mostly Hazen Beulah. They don't have ice in the summer like we do.
Well, thank you very much. I
Yeah.
appreciate. I've been to the ice show, and that's
It's a good
amazing.
time.
When I think of some pretty young skaters out there, I would guess that a lot of them are watching the Winter Olympics now.
Yes, they're very into it. And then we'll have Leah and Artem that will come down that are on Team USA and they're dance. So they're going to come back again this season as well. So it's pretty exciting. My girls don't want to watch unless they're on TV. So
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
very much.
yes, thank you guys.
Our second presentation is from the Bismarck Hockey Boosters, Michaela Jablonski-Yonner. I hope I pronounced that last name correct. Johnner or Yonner, I've heard it both ways, but good evening, Michaela, and are we taking bets on the men's hockey team to whenever their final game is? Isn't that coming up?
Oh, USA all the way. I mean, it's really not
Well,
a bet.
welcome.
Yes, commissioners, thank you for having me here. As you said, my name is Michaela Jablonski-Johnner. My husband's family is down from the Linton area, not the Dickinson area. So Johnner, hard J. I am the executive director for Bismarck Hockey Boosters. So again, thanks for having me. It's always a pleasure to come and be able to tell you a little bit about our program too. So as you are aware, Bismarck Hockey Boosters is a community-based hockey program. We serve kids from 3 all the way through 15. Something new that we added this year was the 3-year-olds. We call them our mini-mites. So that was something that we introduced new this year. In the past, we've had so many people reach out, 3-year-olds want to play hockey. They want to play hockey. So we did start that this year. It's just a short 6-week program at the beginning of the season. And we just get them on the ice. It's really learn to skate is what it is. we throw a stick out there with them once in a while so that they get the feel for it, but really we're just trying to get them to skate. We think next year that is going to prove to be very beneficial when they actually do start with their termite program, that a lot of them are already going to have those skates under their feet at that point. So that was something new that we added this year. That did bring in 31 additional skaters for us this year. So we did have 774 active skaters in our program this year. I know last year when I was here and spoke, I said we're going to be pushing 800, and we definitely did get close. We were at 746 last year, so an increase of about 30-some kids. So again, those mini mites really added to that number. We had 61 teams this year, so one more than last year. That's, again, all the way from termites through your bantams. So we have 61 teams, meaning we have over 150 coaches, and a lot of different times on the ice that we're trying to juggle, which I will also say thank you to the Bismarck figure skaters. We oftentimes are, kind of compromising on ice and saying, well, if we give this up, will you give us this? And so we work well together that way. One thing I was going to note as well was just the high school, start and stop times this year. That was a challenge for us to kind of come together and figure out, well, who's going to take what ice times, because obviously high school ending later in the day, that interfered with our evening ice a little bit, not by a lot, but it did. And so it was a concern, but we were able to work with the, BPS, the ADs, and then also work with Parks and Rec as well to make sure that we still were able to get enough ice for everybody. Again, compromising, everybody has to work together. We have limited ice time, so we need to make sure that we all are working together, so we appreciate that. As far as the season goes, so we start usually in about August with the preseason. That runs August to September. We start our intro to hockey, which is, again, a learn to skate program where kids get equipment provided to them during that process, and they can kind of try it out for about 6 sessions and decide if they want to stick with it or not. We run that in September. Our tryouts start in October. We start regular season in October, which runs through March. We have our first state tournament next weekend, and then trickling into the next few weekends after that as well. And then we do postseason and in March, and then in the summer we run summer camp. So, it really doesn't stop. It just keeps going. And as soon as we're done with one season, we start planning the next season. And then during the year as well, we host 5 weekends of Capitals Cup tournaments. And again, all different ages there, squirts through bantams. We have different tournaments that we host. Typically, any of those weekends, we can see, 12 to 30 teams. Our squirt tournament this year actually had 32 teams, and we actually want to expand that next year, which I think sounds crazy, but but it's actually a lot of fun. The squirts are just really into it. They want to do all the things. They want to be a part of the tournament. It's a new experience for them because they're just learning to get out there with their teams and travel, and so it's a really fun time. So we do want to expand that one a little bit next year as well. And then this year we're hosting 2 state tournaments. Like I said, next weekend is our Bantam AA, Bantam A. That's going to be your highest level, so it's going to be really fun. So if you're looking for something to do next weekend, stop down to Capitol Ice Complex because those are going to be really fun games to come and watch. And then 2 weekends after that, we have the Bantam B Silver State Tournament as well. So again, those Bantam age groups. Again, I would just say thanks to Bismarck Parks and Rec, again, for working with us. I know, I work mostly with the rink staff and Dylan, but they are awesome. When we have those tournaments and we have those events going on during the year, they always are checking with us. Do you need anything? What do you need for help? Double checking when they need to be zamming and how much staff they need and what tables we need out. So they're just great to work with, and we really appreciate that because we wouldn't be able to put on the tournaments without their help and support. So yeah, free to take questions from anybody.
Thanks so much for coming.
Commissioner, go ahead. I'm sorry, Commissioner Ribbon.
Thank
Go
you,
ahead.
President Zimmerman. How many teams are coming next weekend, and from where? Is it all the state tournaments?
State
obviously
tournament,
in the
yep.
States. Any idea how many teams will be in town?
Yes, so there's 12. So the Bantam AA is a smaller group, or a smaller league, I should say, throughout the state. So there's 4 from Bantam AA and then 8 from Bantam A. And they actually have play-in games this weekend to see who makes it to state. So high intensity.
Commissioner Jeske?
President Zimmerman, thank you. Michaela, so when does registration start? And then how do people register if they're interested in getting their child involved in hockey? And then my other question is, do you do like a hockey equipment exchange program? So if my little 3-year-old is just wanting to learn how to, play hockey, but yeah, do you have like an exchange program where they can purchase used equipment?
Yes, yeah, so I'll answer both of those. So July 1st is when our registration opens, which seems really early. People aren't even thinking about hockey yet in July. But we actually have to declare our league teams to the state by July 15th. So we do encourage that early registration. A lot of times you're not going to see the little ones register until later when they're, deciding what they actually want to participate in. But we have all of our older kids usually register by August 1st. So, we tell people just keep watching the website. We'll get it, posted. Any information for registration on our website, on our Facebook. That's a huge piece of communication for us. And I think a lot of people go there for information too. But July 1st is when it opens. And then remind me what your second question was.
Just about like a
Oh,
hockey
the
exchange
equipment.
program. So
Yes.
if you're able to buy equipment
Yep.
that's gently used, things like that. So.
Yeah, absolutely. So we do have our intro to hockey equipment, geared again more so for the littler skaters, but we do have some bigger sizes. So we buy 160 sets of those, or we try and have 160 sets of those on hand. So there is the opportunity, because we don't use all of those, that people can purchase that bag of equipment to kind of get started, or maybe they didn't want to do the intro, but they want their kid to go start skating on the rink and they want the equipment. So they can purchase that as well. And then, like I said, as part of the intro to a hockey program, they do get that bag of equipment included with their registration. And then what we started doing last year, because we had so much equipment being donated to us from people that just outgrew it, myself included, I had bins in my garage. And I was like, what do I do with all of this? So we actually started putting bins outside of our office at Capitol Ice Complex. And it's just kind of a, drop off, take type of situation. So it's free. So if you outgrow your equipment, go drop it in the bin, see if there's anything that you can grab out of there that's going to work for your kiddo. And it's worked really well. And people contact us and say, where can I take this? And we say, put it in the bin, and in a day it's gone, so it's worked really well.
Well, thank you. I hope you hit that magic number that you're looking for, that 800. So it sounds like you're on a good,
Yeah, we
good
never
roll,
know.
and I do think the Olympics are going to help with that too.
Yeah. Well, we never know if it's a good or a bad thing. We need more ice. Just put
Gee,
that
we've
plug
never
in there.
heard that before.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's a new comment, but we're working on it.
Yes.
Commissioner Herzog?
President Zimmerman, Commissioners, Michaela, thanks for being here. I had a couple questions, and I want to put in a shameless plug. If anybody wants to drive a Zamboni or wants to learn how to drive a Zamboni, we are constantly hiring for Zamboni drivers, and it seems like it'd be really fun. So I just want to throw that out there. But how are you doing for refs and coaches? I mean, do you have enough refs, especially tournament time? You get enough refs? How's that all going for you guys?
Yeah, actually just this last weekend, Jamestown had to do a big call out for refs. They didn't have any refs that were willing and able to ref the games that they had in Jamestown. They were paying some big bucks that we actually had quite a few Bismarck refs go down there and help out. But in Bismarck, we seem to have quite a few, which, we've really tried with Bismarck hockey to really try and have a positive culture, and we have a pretty strict disciplinary policy that we try and follow, and we make sure that refs are not going to be the ones that are going to take the heat. We just won't tolerate that, and I think that has helped to retain the refs in Bismarck as well.
Awesome. That's great. I'm just curious on coaches too. I mean, I assume you get a lot of parents as coaches, but you're
Yes.
pretty
Yep.
solid there.
Yeah, and our hockey director, Lane Sedavi, has done a really good job. He's been with us 2 seasons now. The last 2 years in really trying to find those non-parent coaches too, especially at those higher level teams, because we want to make sure that we have really good coaching, across the board. And so more and more, he's going to be trying to get non-parent coaches for all, teams. I mean, that's probably a wishful thought, but obviously he's going to continue to try to get the non-parent coaches to be the head coach, and then you have the parents that kind of help out. But yeah, I mean, across the board, we do have plenty of coaches.
Okay. My last question, aside from another sheet of ice, is there anything else we can do to help you equipment-wise, or are pretty set minus, another sheet of ice?
Yeah, we need ice, I can't think of anything. I mean, I appreciate the ask, but, we do have a lot of great community support, a lot of sponsors that help out with different events and equipment and things like that. So we're incredibly thankful for all of the support that we get. Yeah, thank you.
Michaela, it's co-ed, correct?
Yes.
What are your ratio, male to female or boys to girls, or?
Yep, so we have 774 total kids. We have 109 girls. So I'm not sure what that calculates out to be, but yeah, 109 girls in our program right now. And at our MITE level, which is like an 8U, an 8-year-old level, that's where we first offer to separate girls out if they want to play with an all-girls team. And then the next level would be your 10U, and a lot of girls at that point do choose to play with the all-girls. But we still have, I think, probably about 5, 6 each year that want to play with the boys at that level. And then by the time you get to Pee-wees, which would be your 12U, then they really try to, go back to the girls' side of things. But yeah, every once in a while, Britta is a perfect example. Every once in a while they want to stick with the boys, and it's amazing.
And you mentioned that the Capitol Ice Complex for your tournament, and that, I have to say, I've been up at VFW on some weekends. I drive by and the parking lot is full, and I go inside and the place is just buzzing. And
Yeah.
Capitol Ice Complex the same. I would assume that it works well, that we're
Yes.
doing as good as we can with it. As you say, we could use more ice sheets, I suppose, but.
Yes, yeah, no, Capitol Ice Complex, that's where we have our office and our storage, same with Bismarck Figure Skating Club as well. So, we spend a lot of time down there. Bismarck Hockey Boosters also runs the concessions down there, and so we really try to make sure that we have our events there so that we're able to provide those concessions to our members and stuff as well. If you hit Capitol Ice Complex any weekend at all, it's going to be busy. We try and pack it day in and day out, so yes.
Well, thank you, Michaela. Any other questions or comments from commissioners? Commissioner Gill, I figured, that's a hockey dad.
Yeah, I thank you, President Zimmerman. I just would say, as somebody who went through it, that the intro to hockey program is that's how we got our start, and it was really awesome. And one of the cool things is how they have the older kids help with the fitting of the equipment and the ice time, and it was a great experience, and it led to a lot of memories and a lot of travel and stuff. So and it is awesome to see that the BHB can now add a gold medal winner to its list of alumni. That's pretty awesome. So.
Yes, if you didn't catch the game today, that was amazing. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Michaela.
Thank you.
Good luck with your tournament. Our next item on the agenda is a disposition of bids. And I welcome our Operations Director, David Mayer. We'll review the memos that are found in the board packet. Good evening, David.
President Zimmerman and Commissioners, good evening. A little bit of a list to go through, so bear with me. We have a couple of improvements that we're proposing for the Tummulary tennis courts this year. The first project that we bid out was the replacement of the half court that's in the southwest corner of that complex, if we can call it a corner. The plan is to completely remove the asphalt. The current asphalt surfacing is falling apart, so we're going to rip that out and replace it with concrete, and then take down the wooden half board or back wall and replace that as well. It's been up for a while. It's seen its time, and it's time to get replaced. So that's what this project is for. And then also we're going to put in some fencing, just 4 foot high, black vinyl clad chain link fence to kind of stop any rogue balls from running out onto Ward Road if they do make it low enough. So nice improvement there. But that's what this project was. We opened that up on February 11th. Had 3 contractors submit bids, and our recommendation is to award it to Brando's Concrete in the amount of $55,487.50.
Commissioners, questions for David on this project? Commissioner Jeske?
President Zimmerman, thank you. So, David, have we worked with Brando's Concrete before? It's not a name that I recognize, but it doesn't mean we haven't used them before.
President Zimmerman and Commissioners, Commissioner Jeske, yes, we have. Last year we did some nice little improvements at Lions Tennis Court, and they did some concrete work for us there. I think they've done a few odds and ends in other areas in the Park District as well. They're pretty competent concrete contractors.
So they're local here in the Bismarck-Mandan area?
Yes, they are.
Okay. And it just piques my interest in why Strata Corporation was so much higher, but obviously they don't need the work.
President Zimmerman, Commissioners, Commissioner Jeske, you said it.
David, a couple questions. You mentioned the replacement of that, called the backboard. Mm-hmm. I'm assuming that will be wood again?
President Zimmerman and Commissioners, yes. The plan is to basically replace it as is. The contract right now with Brando's is just to replace the wood. It's going to be pressure-treated lumber, so we'll let that age out a little bit, and then we'll have it sealed, and we'll also have the logo that you see there now put back up.
That
painted
was
back
my
in
second
place.
question, if the logo will go back up there. I hear that enough from people driving up and down Ward Road to see the logo there. Any other commissioners or questions on that? If not, what's the wishes of the board?
Nope, I
Commissioner
was just gonna
Herzog?
make a motion. I'm trying to jump ahead of those guys over there sometimes, but I would move to approve the low bidder for the 2026 Tomo Tennis half-court replacement in the amount of $55,487.50 to Brando's Concrete.
Second,
Second.
motion by Commissioner Herzog, second by Commissioner Gilbertson. Any further discussion?
I just want to say that that's where I get my shag balls because they fly off of there. So now that the fence is there, I'm gonna have to go buy some, I guess. Bummer. Yeah.
Yeah, oh man, we'll have to raise the budget there. Julie, if you'll call the roll, please?
Commissioner Gilbertson,
Aye.
Herzog,
Yes.
Redmond,
Aye.
Jeske,
Aye.
President Zimmerman.
Aye. The second one, David, is for the Tom O'Leary tennis court resurfacing.
President Zimmerman, kind of goes hand in hand with the other project. We need to replace the concrete, but before we replace the surfacing. On the same date, on February 11th, we opened up bids to replace not just the surfacing on the half court, but the other 5 courts as well. So the entire complex will receive brand-new surfacing with this project. Staff recommends awarding the bid to JB Surfaces, Inc. for the amount of $61,787.
Questions for David on this bid?
I'll make a motion that we accept the bid from JB Surfaces Incorporated in the amount of $61,787 for the resurfacing of the Tom O'Leary tennis courts.
Second.
Second, motion by Commissioner Jeske, second by Commissioner Redmond. David, I have one question. What's the timeline? Are we court's gonna be out of commission for a time, or?
And President Zimmerman and Commissioners, working with staff that schedule everything that happens at that complex, which is very busy. There's a lot of people that play there. There's a lot of teams that play there. We're going to, if everything works right, we're gonna fit in the concrete work for the half court early, early on in the season and before all the tournaments get going. So the concrete contract, they have to, I believe, be done by June 8th. So it'd be kind of early. And then we have a window later on in the season, I believe it's July, August, looking at Mike Wald, he and I worked on that one together to try and make sure we fit that window in between a couple of tournaments to get the surfacing done. Contractors believe that should take probably maybe 2 weeks to do all the surfacing if weather permits. But we have about a 1 month window worked in just in case weather doesn't cooperate.
I know we have the motion on the floor, but I have additional question. How long does that surfacing usually last? I mean, I don't remember in my years on the park board that we've resurfaced those courts, just out of curiosity.
President Zimmerman and Commissioners, I don't have my sheet with me that I keep track of all those dates, so you're kind of putting me on the spot. I would like to say that it's been probably 10 to 15 years since Tom O'Leary's been surfaced. I'll be here, and it'll be 10 years in May for me, so I know that we haven't done it since I've been here. But generally, the courts, we're getting about 15 years of use out of the surfacing. We start to see major discoloration, and some fading and things like that more than we see a decrease in playability. We'll also start to see a few cracks start to show up. There may be a few areas where we start to see some delamination where like the whole surface comes off in small patches. We've been able to do that with Tumulary in the past, where we've just patched a couple areas just to get us going through a couple more years. So it's generally 10 to 15 years.
Thank you. I didn't mean to put you on the spot, but I thought, if folks are listening, they say, well, holy cow, yeah, didn't they just resurface it or something? So we get an explanation. All right, we have a motion and a second. Julie, if you'll call the roll, please.
Commissioner Gilbertson,
Aye.
Herzog,
Yes.
Redmond,
Aye.
Jeske,
Aye.
President Zimmerman.
Aye. The next one is the Walt Newens vault toilet and the Sertoma Park storage shed. David?
President Zimmerman and Commissioners, again, on February 11th, we opened up some bids for the replacement of the vault toilet that is at the Walt Newens Horse Arena. It's one of the, actually is the last older style vault toilet in the Park District that we would be replacing. So this will, unless we add new ones, this will probably be the last one that I'm coming up to talk to you about for a very long time. I know, sad moment. And then the other portion of the project is down at the sand volleyball complex at Sertoma Park. There's a shed there for sand volleyball. Through conversations, we found out that some suppliers do basically make a concrete shed. In the location that's at, we thought this would be a great opportunity to replace that older wooden shed and put in basically a concrete shed with a metal roll-up garage door, something really sturdy that if we ever do have a flood again, we're not replacing rotting boards. It'll be there, and it should be fine after the flood. So that's what the second portion of this project is. With that being said, all totaled, we are recommending awarding the bid to Boom Concrete in the amount of $55,645.25.
I have a question, President Zimmerman, if I might.
Commissioner Redmond?
Thank you, President Zimmerman. I'm just curious as to what the add-on options are.
President Zimmerman, Commissioners, Commissioner Redmond, if memory serves me, we're adding some vent fans, we're adding solar lights. Options are as small as putting a chain on the door so the door doesn't fly open. So they're common sense things that make sense for us to add on, but they're not standard. So
Gotcha.
those are the items that they are.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Commissioner Gilbertson?
Question. I'm just curious about the concrete shed. I'm guessing they probably put like a pitched roof on it, or it's not just a concrete box sitting there with a garage door, is it?
No, President Zimmerman, Commissioners, Commissioner Gilbertson, this will look very much like the double vault toilet that we just installed down by the sand volleyball courts.
Okay.
I believe it's a little bit small. I want to say it's 8 by 10. But it'll have a pitched roof to it. It's solid concrete. The roof's concrete, just like the vault toilets are. Same construction practice and everything.
Yeah. Cool. Thank you.
David, the existing vault toilet at the horse arena and the storage shed will be just discarded? Is that the plan?
President Zimmerman and Commissioners, boy, this frog in my throat is really getting me. We are going to evaluate if we can pick that shed up and move it. We're probably going to move it back to our shop yard and see if we can repurpose it for some storage in the shop yard. Kind of a plan to try and make it extend a little bit longer if we can. The vault toilets down at Walt Newens, they will be disassembled and the hole backfilled.
Thank you. I'm aware of, that vault toilet, that it looks kind of old down there, so it'd be great to, and that's a busy place as well. We all know that too, so it'd be great. All right, what are the wish of the commissioners?
President Zimmerman, I move we award the contracts for the vault toilet and the storage shed to both to Boom Concrete for a total amount of $55,645.25.
I'll second.
Motion by Commissioner Gilbertson, second by Commissioner Jeske. Further discussion? Julie, if you'll call the roll.
Commissioner Gilbertson,
Aye.
Herzog,
Yes.
Redmond,
Aye.
Jeske,
Aye.
President Zimmerman.
Aye. The last item under the bid, disposition of bids was the add-on on the on the fertilizer bid award. And David, if you'll give us an update, please.
President Zimmerman and Commissioners, first I'd like to thank you for allowing us to add this. I know we typically don't do that. It just happened that the contractor that called me called 2 days ago and said that they were not going to be able to honor the pricing that they bid back in December. So really quickly, I gave a phone call to the next apparent low contractor. He did say that he was able to honor the pricing, that even though they did have some pricing increases in the last 2 months, would still honor the pricing that they submitted to us in December. So that being said, with the Park Board's permission, we'd like to rescind the award to Reinders, Inc. for the two bids, one for Pebble Creek in the amount of $4,920, and the other one for the Riverwood / Pebble Creek fertilizer in the amount of $15,360, and award those two items to Tessman Company for the elements, or for the fertilizer for Pebble Creek. That amount would be $5,911.20, and for the fertilizer for Riverwood / Pebble Creek, it would be an amount of $19,574.40. I did talk with Mike Wald and verify that it does fit within the budget for 2026, and staff can make accommodations for that.
Questions for David on this change on the bids for fertilizer for golf courses? Commissioner Herzog?
Thanks, President Zimmerman, Commissioners. I was just curious on the second one, the Riverwood Pebble Creek, that didn't meet the specs but was lower. Was there something that they couldn't meet in that? Sorry, I'm looking at the sheet in front of me. I don't want to put you on the spot, but.
President Zimmerman and Commissioners, Commissioner Herzog, I would think, and I don't have the
Maybe it's the mix
specifications
or
that we bid
something.
that out.
Sure.
There was probably something in the analysis that
Okay.
didn't quite meet. That's why it didn't meet the specifications. I'm not exactly sure what the reason was
Okay,
at this point now.
sure. Just curious.
Any other questions for David? If not, what are the wishes of the commission?
Do we need two motions to rescind the first one and then, can we do it all in one shebang?
John? We'll ask our legal counsel here.
Yeah, President Zimmerman, Commissioners, Commissioner Herzog, yeah, I think you can just make it in one motion. I think that's
Okay.
fine. Yeah, thank you. One motion is great.
All right, here we go. Do it. All right. I move that we rescind the two from, I always want to say reindeers, that we had earlier, and then approve the new, which is the apparent low bidders, for the fertilizer for Pebble Creek and Riverwood, Pebble Creek. Let's see, where's our total amount? 5,911.20 and 19,574.40, both to Tessman Company.
I'll second that.
Motion by Commissioner Herzog, second by Commissioner Redmond. Any further questions? Julie, if you'll call the roll, please.
Commissioner Gilbertson,
Aye.
Herzog,
Yes.
Redmond,
Aye.
Jeske,
Aye.
President Zimmerman.
Aye. Thank you, David.
Thank you.
Get out of here. Go sit down.
Our next item on the agenda is our matching grant program, round one. And we have with Commissioner Jeske will review the round and the applicants and successful award of the applications. Commissioner Jeske?
Thank you, President Zimmerman. So Commissioner Herzog and I met on February 10th with Executive Director Klippel and Mike Wald to review the 9 grant applications. We did have 10, and there was one that was a no-show. But I will say that this is one of my favorite programs that we do through the Park District. We have an opportunity to really help our partners expand their services and programs. And so it really is just wonderful to be part of this. So this year we had $125,000 to award. This was round one. We will have another round two application process coming up soon. So I'll just give you a quick summary of this. So Bismarck Public Schools, Wilmore Elementary School, they're requesting $25,000 from the park district. This is to remove existing playground, install multiple new playground structures, and the total estimated cost on that is $160,000. Again, the park district share of that would be $25,000. Through Bismarck Public Schools, we have Solheim Elementary, and again, this is to replace existing metal basketball systems on the playground. Their estimated cost is $24,000, and our proposed funding recommendation is $8,000. Bismarck Rotary Club, they're looking to do the Bismarck Rotary Arboretum, and if you haven't been there before, it is fantastic. But the maintenance and improvement to the Arboretum is needed, including the walking path trail, gardening, adding aggregate services, and the cost on that is $5,000, and the proposed funding recommendation is $2,500. Bismarck Mandan Lacrosse Association, they're looking for more collapsible goals. If you recall, we gave them some grant money previously, and they are looking to add some more. The estimated cost is $1,755. We're looking at proposing funding for $875. Nishu Bowman Archery Complex, they want to replace layers on the public use ranges with the Reinhardt layered walls, and the cost on that is $10,080. They're looking for $5,040. Theo Art School is looking for new tables, shelves, and other stuff for their studios. The total estimated cost on that is $7,000, and the proposed funding is $3,500. Aqua Storm Club is looking to add turn master removable walls for more lane space at Bismarck, the Aquatic Center, and the total cost on that is $4,495.32. Proposed funding is $2,247.66. Bismarck Horse Club is looking to replace some of the east doors, wash racks, and some other upgrades to the facility. Total cost is $8,824. Their proposed funding recommendation is $4,412. And then we also have a request for the installation of a life-size bronze statue of Satchel Paige at the municipal ballpark. The estimated cost on that is $100,000. The proposed funding recommendation is $25,000. So total cost for proposed funding recommendation is $56,574.66, which still gives us about $24,000 to spend should all of these be approved for the next round of matching grants.
Commissioners, questions to Commissioner Jeske or Commissioner Herzog on the project? Commissioner Gilbertson?
I guess not necessarily a question to either of them, just because we've all sat on through this process before, and I just want to reiterate what Commissioner Jeske said. It is truly one of the amazing things to experience, and over the years, just to see the groups that have come in and to see what they've done with this program. They weren't on this list, but I think of like the BMX track. I remember growing up, and it didn't seem like too many years ago that place was covered in weeds, and the scoring or the tower was, the paint was going, and now it's an amazing place, and the partners that utilize this, and the organizations that utilize this program, it truly is amazing, and it also brings a great benefit to the park district. So it's awesome to see, and thank you for your time in doing that.
Commissioner Redmond?
No, just thanks for your time and just, again, it's a great program and benefits everyone in the community because so many people use these projects. And you're right, Commissioner Jeske, if you have not ever been to the Bismarck Rotary Arboretum, it's just a gem in the middle of Bismarck. You feel like you're in the forest, so.
I was just gonna make a motion to approve, the request from the 9 groups.
Second.
Second. Again, I'm gonna have one question. Maybe I'll put Mike Wald on the spot.
Do it.
I don't want to have Mike, spend all the time here and not have at least one question.
I
If
do
I
want
may.
to say too, I agree, I
Yeah.
love, there's only been the second time I've gotten to do it, but you get to ask and have some interplay and questions and hear from the groups. It's really informative.
Thank you. Commissioner Jeske, did you wish to make comment before I just, Mike, thank you. My question, and what total amount, I know it's in that packet when you send it out, what's the total amount that has been involved in this program? Because I always, yeah.
Wait,
You were,
but wait.
is it in there?
Julie, do you know where to find it?
Oh, I thought, Mike, maybe you'd have that number. No? Okay. Is it in there?
Everyone get in line.
Again, I think, if folks are watching, I don't want to get too,
Okay, got it. Excuse me.
we have it, okay. Is it?
President Zimmerman, estimated funds provided by project sponsors, $4,438,315. Total dollars spent on 599 grant projects, $6,854,156. So this is a lovely little, I believe this is on the website, is it not? It's not, no, but people can certainly come in and get it, a copy in the office, but it's a matching grant summary from 1986 to 2025, and it has lovely maps in it of all the areas that are affected by the matching grant program and what all the projects are through the years. And so it's a pretty impressive project, or excuse me, a report to see how the matching grant program has affected the entire community for the last lots of years, so.
Thank you, Commissioner Redmond, and
bet.
Mike's got you up there.
Mike, I
At
got
least
you,
we
buddy.
got you up there.
I got you.
President Zimmerman, Commissioners, I apologize for not having that
No, no,
information
no.
with me, but it is a great program
Yep,
for the Park District.
yeah.
And I would compliment you on working with the commissioners to get all the information out. I know sometimes you need to go back to the applicants and, get some more information, obtain more information, clarify that material, so I appreciate doing that. And I would just add, when we look at the projects, and, there's 9 of them here, but, the variety of them, from the horse, from the horse arena to the, to the swim, to the aquatic center and everything in between, it's a wide variety of projects. And I think, like all of us have said, it's a great thing for the Park District. And again, to folks, there's another round in the spring. Contact the district office, and Mike is going to be your go-to person.
President Zimmerman and Commissioners, President Zimmerman, yes, in June, we'll have another opening or interviews for the applicants at that time. So we'll be getting ready to visit with potential applicants on their projects as we're wrapping and working on the current projects that we have.
Thank you, Mike.
Thanks, Mike.
Yeah, just
Oh,
make a
Commissioner
comment
Jeske.
before you leave, Mike. I do want to commend the work that you do with the grant applicants because you vet everything when it comes to like the playground equipment. You help get the prices. We just really appreciate all the work that you go into so that when they come to present to us, they're confident in their ask. And we're also confident in their ask because we know that this has been run through you. So we appreciate all the work that you do to get these applicants ready for a tough grilling by the commissioners.
President Zimmerman, Commissioners, Commissioner Jeske, yeah, it's the groups, I really appreciate working with the groups because they do get me the information that we need and fill out the applications correct. And again, if we have questions or I have questions, they're easy to get a hold of and get those questions answered, so.
Thank you, Mike. And again, I just want to tell folks, please apply. It's a great program for the district, so thank you all. The next item on the,
I think we have to vote.
yeah, we better have a vote. Huh? We better have a vote.
Commissioner Gilbertson,
Aye.
Herzog,
Yes.
Redmond,
Aye.
Jeske,
Aye.
President Zimmerman.
Aye. Now we'll move to the next item on the agenda, is a request to appear before the Garrison Diversion Conservancy District. A memo was in your packet, and I'll ask our Executive Director, Klipfeld, to give us a background information, please.
Thanks, President Zimmerman and Commissioners. As you know, the Burley County is requesting to withdraw from the Garrison Diversion Conservancy District. They're reaching out to a variety of folks, asking them to come and appear at the hearing on March 24th. They've asked the Park District to come and appear and talk about the benefits that we've received from the Recreation Grant Program. And so I'm here to ask the board for some direction and their thoughts on appearing before the board in March.
Commissioner Jeske?
Thank you, President Zimmerman. So Kevin, I watched the Burley County Commission meeting. Why? I mean, that's the big question I had. Why are they looking to pull back from this wonderful program? Because we've seen the benefits that it provides to the Park District and to other areas. So I'm just so curious on why Burley County, and maybe you can't fill in the dots on that one, but I can't understand their rationale behind wanting to leave that.
President Zimmerman, Commissioners, again, from what I've watched and heard from the comments that the Burley County Commission has made is they don't feel that they're getting the benefit of the dollars that they're spending on the program.
Other questions or comments on this, Commissioner Redmond?
Thanks, President Zimmerman. So Kevin, your plan is to go there saying, these are the projects we've done, these are the benefits that it's had for the community, and go through that type of report with them?
President Zimmerman, Commissioners, Commissioner Redmond, yes. What I would present is what we've seen as a park district, what it's meant to our community, our county, as far as the recreation grant program.
I think that makes great sense.
I would ask our Executive Director, Klipfeld, when you have that compilation of projects and funds, to share it, of course, with Commission. I know we've applied over the years, but it'll be interesting to see what was all involved for our applications.
Absolutely.
All right, I would look for a motion to authorize our Executive Director, Klipfeld, to appear before the Garrison Diversion Conservancy District.
I'll make a motion that we have our Executive Director, Kevin Klipfeld, appear before the Burley County, or on behalf of the Garrison Diversion Conservancy District, to appear at the Burley County meeting on Tuesday, March 24th, in support of what the Garrison Diversion Conservancy District does for our district.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Jeske, second by Commissioner Redmond. Any further discussion? I wish to clarify that we are saying we would be on record in support of Burley County staying within the Conservancy District, or are we making a report of our involvement with the district?
That's a good question.
President Zimmerman and Commissioners, my thought process is we would provide testimony or appear based on the benefits that we've seen from the program, from the recreation program, and how we've benefited from it.
Okay, so we're not saying we would support. We're not going to make us. I want to clarify that we're not there to say, yeah, we support the. Okay, we're okay with that, Commissioners.
Do you need me to amend my motion? We're good? Okay, thank you.
All right, Julie, if you'll call the roll, please.
Commissioner Gilbertson,
Aye.
Herzog,
Yes.
Redmond,
Aye.
Jeske,
Aye.
President Zimmerman.
Aye. The next item on the agenda is a consent agenda. A variety of items have been placed in a consent agenda. The consent agenda can be approved with one motion, or an item or items can be removed for additional discussion and separate action. Staff recommends approval of the following items: consideration of the January 15, 2026 board minute meetings, request to dispose of obsolete records. There are 2 requests included in your packet. Correction of the portable toilet servicing bid, consideration of consultant agreements, and request approval to call for bids. That's for the Custer Park Performance Stage Replacement Project, AGL Landscape Architect, Century Avenue to Sunrise Park Trail. The agreement with KLJ will be provided, should be provided to you by this week. And a request for board authorization to apply for grants. And that's for the Community Development Block Grant and the Destination Development Grant. Any questions from commissioners, and what are your wishes?
I move that the consent agenda be approved as presented.
Second it?
Motion by Commissioner Gilbertson, second by Commissioner Redmond. Any further questions? If not, Julie, if you'll call the roll, please.
Commissioner Gilbertson,
Aye.
Herzog,
Yes.
Redmond,
Aye.
Jeske,
Aye.
President Zimmerman.
Aye. The next item is approval of bills. Commissioners?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Gilbertson, second by Commissioner Jeske. Any further questions? If not, Julie, if you'll call the roll, please.
Commissioner Gilbertson,
Aye.
Herzog,
Yes.
Redmond,
Aye.
Jeske,
Aye.
President Zimmerman.
Aye. The next item on the agenda is the executive session under the authority of the North Dakota Century Code, Section 4404-18.27, for consideration of executive director applications. The item shall be discussed in an executive session. The legal authority for closing this portion of the meeting is North Dakota Century Code previously cited. The topic or purpose of this executive session is for the board to review applications for executive director and designate 3 or more of the qualified applicants as finalists for further consideration before the board or any other person may issue an offer of employment to fill the position. However, if the board does not wish to consider any of the applicants further and decides not to make an offer of employment for the vacant position, the public entity need not designate any finalist. At this time, a motion would be in order to discuss the next topic in executive session rather than in an open meeting. Is there such a motion?
I'll make that motion that we move to executive session.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Jeske, second by Commissioner Gilbertson. Any discussion on this motion? Julie, if you'll please call the roll.
Commissioner Gilbertson,
Aye.
Herzog,
Yes.
Redmond,
Aye.
Jeske,
Aye.
President Zimmerman.
Aye, motion carried. The executive session will be recorded, and all members of the governing body are reminded to limit their discussion during the executive session to the announced topic for the consideration of the executive director applications. We will now ask members of the public who are attending the meeting to leave the room. The minutes will show that the executive session began at 6:23.